Comedy Mushroom Cult Podcast. Oh shit, guys. I think we did it. I think we're going to turn this down. Perfect. Fuck yeah. Hey, I think we got everything working correctly for like the first time at the same time. For a while. Don't look now. This might become like an actual listenable podcast. If you can't hear Pete Wentz in the background playing with his stupid toys, I asked him if he could be quiet, but he is a cat. So, I don't know. There's not much I can do about it. If he was a dog, I've been trying to work on this joke about how Anchovy Hopkins, our one cat, is racist because he like always stares down our black neighbors anytime they walk through. Because it's wild. Wisconsin has like zero black people that interact with like white people regularly because it's like redlined from 1,000 years ago and is still the most segregated city in the country. Those are just facts. Don't kill me for stating the facts. But like, I don't know. I live between two apartments with black people in it, so like, I have the most diverse apartment building in Wisconsin. Go figure. It's in the suburbs of Wisconsin, of Milwaukee here. But he's always like eyeballing our neighbors when they walk past the back door. And like, I had a dog, so like, I'm used to like dogs. You can like, whenever somebody's like, my dog doesn't like X or Y, that's because you trained him to not like X or Y. But like, cats are born that way, and there's nothing you can do about it. Because like, they're smart enough to like listen to you when they want to, but like also smart enough to ignore you, where like a dog isn't quite smart enough to do such a thing. So it like, I can't untrain my cat to be racist. I couldn't train him to be racist, so I know he was like born that way. Go figure, the first animal we get in Wisconsin. I don't know if I've talked about this yet. It seems awfully familiar, but whatever. But Petey, I can't get him to shut up because he's smart enough to listen to me, but when I ask him nicely to do something and he wants to do the opposite, he's going to. Because that's just what cats do. They do what they want, not what's appropriate, especially when I have to record this podcast late and get it out to you fine people. Especially the video that's on at the same time as the audio. Hell yeah. So if you want to see part of my alien painting that I have, it's a very cool painting. See? If you don't have the video, you can't see it. But I have an alien painting, and then I have like a crazy mushroom brain painting in the background. But like, the way that I sit, you can only really see the crotch of the alien and like the world. So like, if you're watching the video, I'm touching his little alien dingling. So that's all you can see of that. But if you want to see that in my nice Stable Pigeon No More Wars shirt that I got on May the 4th, because I believe that May the 4th shouldn't be about Star Wars. It should be about remembering people being murdered by the government. Not that they would ever fund any sort of genocide or war for no reason when we can't afford healthcare or roads, schooling, infrastructure, any sort of anything like that. Like, there's literally buildings in New York falling apart. And I understand that those are mostly like privately owned. And like, we don't want like all places to be publicly owned, because then we'll have those like crazy like East Germany, like USSR, like plain gray build. I mean, even though everything's millennial gray now, so we're already like working towards everything being gray. Like, even the couch I'm sitting on is millennial gray. Anchovy Hopkins is a Russian blue. He's our millennial gray cat. So like, we're already working towards not having any sort of like fun color anywhere, because our generation has been poor our entire adult lives, and wages are stagnant and whatnot. But like, we don't want that to be like structurally the way that things work. Like, we don't want that to be all the buildings, but like, maybe we should invest in infrastructure and in buildings that don't fall apart for no reason. Or even like, because there have been like I read the story real quick. Like a whole corner of a building fell off. If you haven't seen it, I think it was in the Bronx, and they had like fines and shit that they've been like behind on or something. Like they didn't fix anything. They just like paid the fines or like people went in there. So like if we actually had like a working government of regulations or a regulatory system, or spent some of the money that we're fine sending overseas for people to kill brown people all the time, then maybe, just maybe, our entire country wouldn't be falling apart. But hey, that's the American way. How are we going to influence people other than sending McDonald's and billions and trillions of dollars towards war? You got to do it somehow. You definitely can't do it by our arts and culture that have completely taken over the world. We can't do it that way. We can't do it diplomatically by forming a great government, or making like an example that people want to live up to. Definitely can't do that, because that only worked for most of the time, until we found out that like actually taking care of a country and businesses and a citizenry is very tough. But like if we get into Congress or whatever, we can get bought off by corporations, and we can make a bunch of money for ourselves. That's way easier than actually doing what we're supposed to be doing and run a great country. Yeah, I mean, that's that. But no, I'm sorry that this is late. The Latecast. I would title this the Latecast Part 2, but I don't know. That seems like a weird... Do you know what? That might be what it is. It doesn't matter. I've been fighting off the crud that's been going around, and I don't even know what it is. That's kind of the crazy part. Joe Briggs, not to like break anybody's HIPAA violations, but he's been sick as well, I think, with the same thing, and he's across the country. I told him that since we talked on the phone twice in a day, I caught it through the phone, because like Soldier Boy, I kissed him through the phone, and that's how we got it. And this would have been way cooler if I knew the real phone number to put on there. And then of course a cat's gonna get into shit during the podcast. Hey. Knock it off. Get out of there. What the fuck are you looking at? I'm talking to you. Alright. Whatever. Like I'm saying, you tell him, and he looks up and around like I'm not talking directly at him, because he's being a dipshit. But whatever. Fucking cats. But yeah, had the crud. It's not even like my stomach turned. It was like a real nausea thing. Then like my throat started hurting. That's why I didn't do it yesterday, is because like it still comes in and out. Like right now, using my vocal cords a lot is hurting. Like, you know, the top of your throat, like where the back of your mouth. I see it as like two different parts, because you know how like the leg bone is connected to the hip bone and all of that, and it's like four bones or whatever that they're talking about. I see it as like my mouth goes to like past my tonsils, your epiglottis, down like your tonsils, and then it's like your throat. So it's like mouth, epiglottis, tonsils, like all of those are your mouth, and then it goes to neck / throat. So right at that where like the tonsils meet the throat / neck, that's where it hurts. And that's only super important when you're talking. But yeah, so like that's the lingering side effect, and like a headache that just like won't go away. And I don't even know exactly what kind of medicine to take. This is why we need like adults or like a real working healthcare system. Is like my entire like I don't know if it's acetaminophen. I know that's not good for your liver. Ibuprofen. That's like bad for something else too. Tylenol. I don't know which one Tylenol is or which one Advil is. I don't know. Like I know like the generic brand of ibuprofen is just ibuprofen, right? Same thing with the acetaminophen, and I don't know which one is which. So like I've just started buying name brand medicine, so like I kind of, at least when like somebody asks me what I'm taking, I can be like Tylenol, sinus, extra strength. And then they can be like, yeah, you're not supposed to take that much. Where if I go like, all right, acetaminophen, and they're like, okay, how much? I don't fucking know. Like, you can, if it's brand name, you can look it up. You can look at all of everything and know what it is. So that's what I'm on now is Tylenol, severe sinus. Because that's what kind of hurts is my sinuses and the top of my throat. So that's mostly sinuses, right? But then I also had like a stomach ache and I had like the chills and like my body ached like I had the flu. Like it was the weirdest combination. Now I never threw up or like got diarrhea or anything like that. But like I just didn't like eat anything but crackers, and I had like sausage gravy and biscuits, but it was like mild sausage, so I wanted something like dense in my stomach, and like that turned it. So I've just been like hammering like diet fucking ginger ale, even though they say that doesn't really do anything, and fucking Ritz crackers. Like that's been like most of my diet. And that's just because I don't know what else to do. Like I can't go to the doctor because you can't get into the doctor. Like I have a doctor's appointment on the 2nd of July, and I had to put that fucking appointment in 2 months ago when I got my medicine. Like it's insane that it takes that long to get in the goddamn doctor, and I can't go see like the nurse practitioner again because the doctor says she needs to see me. So like I can't. Like why would we do this? What are we doing here? So it's insane. Like you can't go to the urgent care because then it costs $1 billion. So like, and then they got to run 1,000 tests. Like they'll do like the flu test. They'll probably make you take a COVID test, and it's not COVID because that's a very specific feeling that you have. And like in between there, like you need somebody like, and I can't like just text every nurse that I know and just be like, hey, these are my symptoms. It'd be like going on WebMD and giving them all your symptoms, and then you just have to ignore the first 4 where it's telling you you're dying. And then you just have to like figure it out and be like, oh, this is kind of what it is. And that's like, I saw somebody had mono online, and I was like, ooh, what are the symptoms of mono? And I just like looked at it just in case, because like, what if I got mono from somebody? And I don't know where I would get mono because it's like I'm only making out with one person, you know? It's not like, and right? Like it's not even, it can't happen otherwise. Wrong. It happens. And I think if I got mono, you can get it from touching things. Like it's mostly through saliva, right? So you can get it through touching something that somebody's saliva has been on, that's got it. And I think probably cleaning up people's stupid fucking plates and shit at work, maybe I got it there. But I don't know if it hasn't stuck around long enough, because I feel better today, and I don't sound like absolute shit like I did. So who knows? Like, even Ashley asked me and was like, yo, you don't even sound sick. You just, like, say you are. And it's like, okay, thanks. It's not like I'm trying to call off school and I'm trying to convince my mom. Like, I've never had a fever. I don't get fevers. Except for when I got COVID. I had, like, a fever of, like, 101, 102. Like, whatever is, like, not that dangerous. Now the goddamn cat's trying to swallow cardboard. Will you knock it off with this? Thank you. Please stop getting into shit. That's all. Just talking about my healthcare. The fucking only thing more expensive than my healthcare is taking the goddamn cat to the vet, and their healthcare is like 500 times more expensive because they know you're gonna fix it. Like my health, like I would fix the cat before I fix myself, and they know that. So they're like, hey, you can get a fucking credit card for it or whatever. But no, everybody's got to get into shit today. What do we want to talk about? I didn't mean to complain for the first half of this about that. Oh yeah, went to a concert on Friday, like mid-sickness. So like Friday, my body started hurting, and like I had a tummy ache and whatnot. And on the way down to Chicago for a concert, hey, knock it off! No, absolutely not. Trying to fucking chew on records now. This is going to be 2 weeks in a row of me yelling at the cats the whole goddamn time. we went to a concert down in Chicago and to see Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness. It's allegedly his last tour. Ashley's a fan, so we went and saw him. But on the ride down is like when it super started to hit. So I was just like miserable in the car for 2 hours and then had to walk like half a mile into this place. And it was cool. I think it was at the Riviera, which was gorgeous. It was a beautiful little place. And I called off work on Saturday, so like it was like hard not to take a bunch of pictures and post it because like that's a weird look. But like today or yesterday, I even told them at work, I was like, yeah, we were at the concert but like at a certain point, because we're like in the pit area and I feel like absolute trash. And I know we should have learned from COVID to like not be around a bunch of people when you're sick, but like it wasn't COVID. And so like I doubt anybody's going to die. Like maybe they have the flu or mono now, but like, I don't know, get off me. Like I'm not going to, whatever. So she wanted to be in the pit area, cause it's all general admission. And we're just in there, and it's great. Like, the opening band is gonna be who, like, the song of the week is, because they fucking rip, and I like them a lot. Then, like, the, intermediate, like, the second band that we saw was Michigander. They fucking rip. The guy kind of reminds me of Bowling for Soup a little bit, but, like, better. He's, like, a bigger dude, but, he's really good with the crowd, and their songs are awesome. And they're from Michigander. But, yeah, they rip. And then it was Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness, but after the first few songs in Andrew McMahon, I just had to go. I, like, sat in the back by myself, like a loser, because I was not feeling well. So I just, like, sit in the back, and then when we're riding home, feel like ass. So it's just, like, there's nothing worse than being like the party pooper in the back of the concert. So I even told that, I was like, you just stay here. I'm going to go sit in the back by myself like a fucking nerd. But I got to meet the one band that I'm going to play, and I'm not going to tell you who it is until I put it on the fucking thing. All right, that's how you can join. You can join the Patreon, and you can get the video, and you can hear the song. It's $5 a month. I'm giving you 4 podcasts a month. If it's once a week, and there's 4 weeks in there. Sometimes there's 5 weeks in a month. So then you'll get like it's $1. All right. Or $1.25 per episode, and that helps. Or you can join the coffee club. Because that would be super helpful since we're not entirely sure where the next job is yet. So join the coffee club, and then you'll get coffee every month, and I'll feel like I'm bringing income in. And then my family that doesn't exist can fucking survive. But yeah, the concert ripped. Every time we go down to Chicago, I love it. It's a good time. Just like the vibe's good. The people are very nice, and I'm sure like once we move down there, it'll be like different because you're in it every day, and it won't be like as exciting. But it's just like nice to go down there and like see different neighborhoods we can live in, and fucking like just feel like you're in like a place where like arts and culture and like people get along with each other and like see things, you know. And I found like cults have been like a weird thing that have been like a good like and I mean, I know this is the Comedy and Mushroom Cult podcast, and that's kind of like the original point was to like do podcasts about cults. We might do it, we as in me and the voices in my head might do something like that. Like if I run out of ideas of things to just bitch about, I can do my own like research on cults and then like make fun of them and all that other stuff, and like formulate rules that like the cult was based off of. That was kind of the original idea, but then it just turned into just me rambling and creating my own cult apparently. But like we found on the way back to the car, like just feel like delirious, because I was like, I've been calling it my sickness spirit walk, because just I've been in a haze since Friday, and today's like the first day I've like kind of knocked out of it. And we're like walking back to the car, and we see it must have been like the Christmas party for somebody. It was a certificate. I got a picture of it on my phone. I don't think I deleted it yet. Where it said, yeah, here it is. It's from the community holiday potluck of 2023 for WeWork, where there's been like fucking documentaries about how that's either a cult or like the guy's trying to make a cult, or it doesn't work right, or like the WeWork places where people live are all a disaster. But the certificate is the Christopher Briney Lookalike Award. and it was given to Edward Pribble, and I can't find him on Facebook. So if anybody wants to look for him and tell him I had his certificate but threw it away, it was like a nice certificate. They printed it on nice paper. There's like fucking flowers and shit on it. So like there's that, but like it's just very funny that I just found that on the ground. Because like we've been watching a bunch of stuff. Like I have a good bit about Warren Jeffs now. I have this stupid podcast. We watched a thing about Mother God that was on Netflix, HBO maybe. I don't remember which one it was on. Hulu, I don't remember, but find it. It was like, it's insanity. Like people are insane. Cults are crazy, but like it can't be that. I don't understand why you can't just stop at a certain point. Like I understand why people would take advantage of other people and psychopaths and sociopaths. Like I understand why they take advantage of people, but I don't understand where like even Christianity, like fucking priests rape children, and I'm sure we should block out that word or whatever, but we're far enough into the podcast. But like that happens, and then like crazy shit happens. Muslims have like the lunatic fringe that bomb places. Mormons have like Warren Jeff people. Buddhists have like terrorists in there as well. Like all of them. I mean, it start at the top and work your way down. Every religion has like the crazy people who like take it too far, and I don't see why we can't just stop. Like there's got to be like Lutherans killed Jews back in the day because they weren't into them, like all of that shit. So like I don't see why it can't just stop at a certain point. Like right before the line of like banging other people's wives, I think that's where it goes sideways. Like yeah, you can have one person at the top that's like, hey, he's God or she's God or they are God. We're inclusive on this podcast. It's the least I could do to be an ally is to include them. And you know, like just stop like at like getting everybody's money. Like, hey, they're donating 10 to 15% of their paycheck to you, or you don't have to work because other people are working and paying for you. Like, isn't that enough? People are already sitting down and listening to you every day. They think you're a god. Like, isn't that enough? Like, why do you have to be like banging everybody's wives and like hoarding guns because the government's coming after you? Like I understand you need to ramp it up to keep people involved, but like and like spread out the base, but like if you just like it's the same thing with my comedy career. Like if I could get $1 from everybody in this country, I don't want like a bunch of money, just $1 from all 350 million people in this country. That's $350 million. You would never even have to think about working again. So like all these like cult people, like they don't ever have to work again. They've got enough, like their houses are big enough, like all of it. Like the fucking David Koresh, like he already owned these people's lives. They were all in a bunker already. Like, did you really need to like hoard all these guns and say the government's coming after you? And now they did end up coming after them, but it was like one of those chicken or the egg things. Like, did they come after them because they were crazy and had all like banging everybody's wives and had all the guns stashed, or did they stash the guns because they were coming after them? Like, you know, and the government ended up being wrong, but like that line is very blurry, and I don't see why you can't just stop. Like right wherever that, like, hey, I'm gonna have sex with all of your wives. You can't, but I can. Like you can stay married. You already have your kids. They look like you. Hang out with your kids. Tell them I said hello. Like whatever. But you can't bang them. Only I can. Not the kids. The wives. Don't. We're not doing that. Like, but. I mean, but that doesn't, I mean, Catholics, you know, so like you can't, like they can even have wives, the priests, but like that's where they turn to, because it's crazy. So like, I don't see why you can't just like stop and be like, all right, I have all this shit. I have a bunch of great ideas. You already think I have great ideas. That's why you're here. Like, that's why you're hanging out with me in like this fucking compound, and we're all growing fruits and vegetables because we're off the fucking grid, and like we share a Netflix password. And you like pay, like you listen to me because you like it, and then we call it a day. Like just a nice, good old fashioned cult. And I don't see why it has to go crazy. Like I'm sure you get kind of bored at a certain point and you want to ramp it up, but like just chill. You know, like it's not. You already won. You don't have to. It's the same thing for like billionaires. You have a B. You have $1 billion. Even like right at 999,999,000 or whatever the fuck it is, right? $999,999,999, right? That one extra dollar. You need that extra dollar. Do you really need that extra dollar to get that B? You don't need it. Like, you already have more money than anybody in the entire world ever needs, all right? There are countries that don't have $1 billion. You have enough. Why don't you just stop? Or give it away to some people. Like, you can just chill. And I don't see why people have that problem of being like, I never have to touch money again. I never have to, like, all I have to do is sit here and, like, tell these people my philosophy. And, like, maybe they'll lose interest at some point. But, like, you'll still have that base. Like, as long as you keep enough to not do anything. And then you can just be like, fuck it. Like, Manson had to, like, keep, like, everybody was in, right? Like, he was, like, singing his shitty songs. Everybody was digging fucking free acid. Whether they knew they were getting it or not is a different thing. But then, like, he's just like, all right, dudes don't get to bang all these, like, then a lot of them were underage. And, like, yes, obviously he wasn't a good person, but, like, you could have just stopped at, like, robbing people to pay for everybody to do it. Like, you didn't have to kill anybody. You didn't have to, like, yes, it's cool to control people. Like, that would be super fun. Like, I'm sure that rips. Like, that power has to be super fun and super intoxicating. But, like, if that's the difference between, like, lasting forever and, like, keeping some sort of religion going and, like, become, like, the Mormons, like, until, like, if they would have just stopped, like, the regular Mormons just, like, stop where you're at, and they crushed it. Like, it's, like, a newer religion. They're like, they almost had a president, right? Like, they almost had a president. And it took the Catholics thousands of years to almost have a president. They almost had it in a matter of a couple hundred years because they just stopped. Now, some people kept going, and that's when they became crazy. But if you just stop at that certain point, then you'll be fine, right? That's my idea. So, I mean, join the Comedy and Mushroom Cult, all right? That's the point of the Patreon. I promise not to try and bang your wives. I don't want to bang your wife. I don't want to. Don't bring your kids. Like, I don't want anything to do with children. Don't bring them. Like, keep them. Get a babysitter. Come hang out. All right? Like, just give me money. All I want is for you to listen to my ramblings and, like, think I'm super cool and handsome and, like, then give me money. That's all I want. All I want is money from people to do basically nothing but talk. And I don't think you need to go much further than that. Ray Roberts, cult leader, 2024. All right? Can't run for president, so by November of 2024, I need to have my own cult. That's what we're doing. Let's see here. So there's that. Oh yeah, I'm kind of out of my time out in the algo. The algorithm has decided that I'm not grounded anymore, and I think the problem is I was having too much fun. So, like, these numbers might not mean anything to you, but, like, they mean stuff to other people. So, like, my stories usually get, like, 120 to 150 views each time. They did for a while. I don't have that many followers. I'll tell you exactly. I have 1,132 followers. Not a lot, not a little bit. We're rounding up to where my fucking ratio is, like, better. So, like, and I understand that my stuff might not be the best thing for the algos, but, like, I don't know, like, there's no reason for you to throttle it by half, like, because there was, like, 2 or 3 weeks where all of my shit was getting, like, 55 tops. Now, I think I shared something that people that the algorithm must not like, because now I'm back in, like, the 70s. So, like, I was back up where I was, and now apparently I must have pissed him off. Like, I was having too much fun. I think that's what the problem is instead of sharing things that, like, Instagram can make money off of, I was having too much fun. And I'm, like, you guys listen to this, so you know what my taste in humor is. Like, I understand that I'm not, like, the most marketable for monetary things. Like, I could see, like, Blue Chew could advertise on this. Like, all these, like, all the normal, like, podcast things. But, like, when you put shit on, like, Instagram, I understand why they're going to throttle my shit, okay? Because they can't make money off of nonsense. Like, me telling people to join my cult that I'm not going to, like, bang their wives, that's not something that Instagram can put an ad on and, like, put in people's feed, because random like, they want I call it like the Ryan Seacrest kind of demographic, where they just want it right in the middle of the road, not making anybody mad, not doing anything too crazy. It just falls in that like perfect wavelength where like you're starring out the E in the word sex in your fucking your captions. Like they want that like thin veil. Like the internet's supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be wild, it was supposed to be like the area where like they couldn't like centralize it, which they did obviously. And like we have like Instagram, Facebook, Meta controlling like what we say, so then we're going to self-edit it before we put it out, like so much so that you can't put sex in like in a closed caption without it not being sent or without it not being demonetized. Like I had a shirt on that said it was for the band Fuck You Pay Me, and they demonetized my shit because, and it was like a good clip that should have gotten thousands of views, but they demonetized it, so it only got like 1,500 views. So it's like they're just, maybe that's why I pissed off, because I put the Fuck You Pay Me shirt on. All right, so we figured it out, but like you can't even wear a band's shirt and in the video and it says fuck you pay me and it won't share it, because like why the fuck would it, you know? Why would they want to share good content that has a bad word on it? Like they're even shutting down like when people are sharing videos that are pro-Palestine. They're not letting it be put in people's like public feed. Like if you go to their account and look in their story, you can see it. But if you're just on like your normal feed, they take it down. So like the algorithm just decides what we're supposed to see. It's not even like every once in a while there's like accounts that are being like, oh, they want to use this sort of new tool on it, so use this to hack the algorithm. I think it's past that. They're trying to shape the way that's out there so like they make more money. And I don't think it's like a weird like censorship, like they don't want you talking about it. They don't want you talking about it because advertisers won't give them money. It's not some sort of like they're trying to shape the moral view. They just like Disney, fucking McDonald's, fucking like Starbucks doesn't want to advertise on Meta's platforms if somebody's talking about the right spot to like cut off a cult to keep it going. Like they don't, like before when like a person could have their own brand and stuff like that on Instagram and then just like pay your penance to it, like pay your like 10% or whatever the finder's fee is for Instagram, like that makes sense. Where now Instagram's like, oh well, we can make money, and people will just like bend to it. And I don't know, yeah, obviously I do it sometimes and I let the like the closed captions censor themselves, but I'm not gonna not talk about things to not be, or to be in the algorithm. That's just not my style. Sure, I could be more successful if I wrote jokes for everybody or the way that they wanted to do it, or did a podcast that fits better on the algos, or even like edited these better to like jump cut and all that stuff, because that's what like they want you to do, so like they can sell advertisements and keep people on the platform and all that other shit. But like literally the lowest, like the only form of protest that you can do anymore on like the internet and ads and shit like that is like not sway to it. Because if everybody did it and it was just like, no, fuck you, we're not swaying to the algorithm, we're gonna put out good shit, I'm gonna say sex in like a clip and swear every once in a while, then you don't need to change it. Then you don't need to change what you're doing and everything will be fine. Like it's insane how we let things swing through it. Like so much so like I don't pick it. Like when you're on Hulu or whatever and they're like, pick which commercial you want to watch. Like the only form of protest we have anymore is not picking one and then letting them show it to us. Like I sit through an extra 30 seconds of commercials not to pick one because I refuse to give them the data that they want. Like one, they're selling the commercial space, and then they're selling the data on like the commercial on which one people want to watch, so they make more commercials like that. So not only are we paying for a platform who also sells advertising space, we're giving them data for free, and they're trying to sway exactly how we fucking look and listen to things. And if you don't do it right, then they lower the like count, they lower the view count, they lower how much it can spread, because then you're not being enough of a money maker for them. Even though you're giving them free content to put out, it's not the type of free content that they want. It's insanity. But whatever. This is kind of a preachy podcast this week, but it's perfectly fine. But we're going to go to do the song. So that's going to be cut off for the audio here in a second. WhoIsRayRoberts.com. Going to be in Traverse City, Michigan this weekend, opening for Brad Wenzel at the Traverse City Comedy Club. That's the 15th and the 16th. I think 7:15 on Friday, 7 on Saturday. So that's going to be fun. I have to update my fucking website after this, but let's see where else I'm at. Traverse City this week, back in Ohio on a David Morales show in Amherst on the 22nd. I'm at the Milwaukee Improv again on the 29th. I'm doing a show for Funny Business in La Crosse, Wisconsin on the 5th of January. I'm going to be up in Sheboygan on the 13th of January. The 19th of January, I've got a show at Bare Bones that just added in Oshkosh. The 27th, I got a show in Madison. And then the 3rd of February, that's right, we're booked out into February. Black Monk Brewery in Erie, PA. So, I mean, if any of those scratch you where you itch, let me know. Ticket info, message me. I'm sure I can find a link for you. Or you're smart enough, you'll figure it out. But whoisrayroberts.com, at whoisrayroberts on everything. Thank you guys for listening. We're going to pop on over to the video here to do the song. So if you want to be part of that, $5 a month on Patreon. And we even have like a $3 level if you just want to send me money, because that's how much gas is. But patreon.com/WIRR or whoisrayroberts.com. There's like a support tab. So thank you guys for listening. Sorry for being late, and we'll see you guys next week. All right. Now that we got rid of the pours, even though, I don't know, $5/25 for the Patreon isn't like, that doesn't mean you have money, but here we go. This is the band that I saw during Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness. It was very confusing because their name is Wildermiss, but they rip. It's like a 3-piece band. It has a woman front person. She ripped. The guitar player super ripped. In person, the drummer was awesome in person, but like the song I listened to, because you know when you see somebody live and you're not 100% like they're gonna be good on recording, but these guys were on the recording and like even better live. So I mean, check them out. Wildermiss, it's wilderness but miss at the end. But this song is called Wi-Fi, W.I.F.I. And it's like, when are you gonna fall in? When I fall in is a part of it, of the song. But no, it's awesome. So that's gonna be the name of the song. That's the band Wi-Fi by Wildermiss. Hopefully you like them, because I super like them, and they were super fun to see live. And I don't know, I'm excited to share them and tell people about it. So thanks for being on the Patreon. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy this band.
traps that you are setting, all the time I put in, there's no way I can win. When you gonna fall in? All the things I'm forgetting, sick and tired again. No more time to pretend. When are you gonna fall in? All the traps that you set, all the time I put in, there's no way I can win. When are you gonna fall in? All the things I'm forgetting, sick and tired again. No more time to pretend. When are you gonna fall in? When are you gonna fall in? When are you gonna fall in? Tell me when. When are you gonna fall in? When are you gonna fall in? Tell me when.
Woo!